Hello and welcome to Around the Scene, presented to you by Playing with Rockets. I'm one of your hosts, PW Orion, and joining me today is Daddy Perino, alongside the man who bleeds red, black, and gold. We got Randomize. How are you both doing today?
I am doing very well, thank you for asking, Ryan. How are you doing, Mr. Randomize?
Doing great. It's stuck in the middle of still doing some work while we're trying to get into the podcast.
We caught you at a bad time, unfortunately.
All good. You know, it's all part of the love of esports and running things. We get it. We all do the same thing.
Just being a tournament owner in general, but
tournament owner, team owner, owner.
All the fun stuff of working with the community.
Exactly.
But if you didn't know, this is episode 30 of Around the Scene. 30 episodes. I don't know how we got this far along, but we made it here. We're here every Wednesday to get you your fix on all things Rocket League. If you like this, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe, all that jazz. There's too many things on too many different platforms for me to state it all, but be sure to do whatever it is you do on your platforms. You can also consider kicking us a buck over on patreon.com/playingwithrockets. Gonna give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers for the month of November. We got Kelvin Winter, Father of Five, Jonesy, and Nao. So we thank them very much for their support. And also an update on the RLCS Emerald Pro Wheel code that we have, courtesy of Nexum Crash over on Reddit. We are going to be doing a Pick'ems challenge thing for podcast listeners. So we're not going to post this on Reddit or our Twitter or anything. Just going to be for those of you who watch the show. So we're going to get all that set up. And then once the World Championship comes around, we'll have the brackets out. You can go make your predictions. Person who gets closest will receive the wheels. We wanted to make sure that it was something fun that would ensure participation between us and you guys. So look forward to that information. We'll be revealing more hopefully next week on that. We're still trying to set some of it up. And also, final reminder, this is our last week coming up for qualifiers to join the Takeoff. That's our $1,000 plus tournament happening in December. This is our fourth and final qualifier. 6 spots left to make your claim to get into that. So be sure to go to our Discord, our Twitter, all those places. Go sign up for it. You got to get on it while you can. And thanks very much for the subscription, man.
No problem.
But we're a bit on the light news side because now it's kind of that weird limbo area of the season. So we only have a couple of news items. But are you guys ready to kind of get this show on the road?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I was born ready, Ryan. Take us away.
So our first bit of news is KDOP is the runner-up for Esports Awards 2019 Console Player of the Year. Just barely got beat out for that first place spot, so congratulations to KDOP there. But also not congratulations because he got denied his 6-peat over in Europe.
Yeah, that's it's always funny because and I saw Randomize do a little air quotes too right there when we said console esports player of the year. But what I just learned, and someone just corrected me on this, was that the reason it's classified as console is because they determine it based on where the majority of the player base is. So
really?
Yes. So there are actually more console players for Rocket League than there are PC players because the combined numbers for Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch are greater than PC. So right?
So what like Fortnite and Call of Duty then could be considered console titles?
It would be considered console more than likely because
because like Fortnite, it's on your freaking phone, like
PS4 and like phone probably dominate the PC.
Like the fact that it's free, it's in so many places. That is really interesting. I didn't, because whenever I first saw this, I saw this before today, and I was just like, console player? I feel like that's a typo. No, that's good to know. I had no clue that that's what it meant.
Yeah, so, for those of us who, are aligned to any one specific platform or another, in terms of where we play our games, some of us are happy with that title, some of us might not be happy with that title. Only so much you can do about it.
Yeah, but so the Esports Awards 2019, we actually had several Rocket League people in contention for these awards. Sunless Khan, he was up for Content Creator of the Year award or something like that. I think he got 4th. He just missed out on like placing for it. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Scrub Killer was up as Rookie of the Year. And then I feel like there was one more person who was in contention somewhere. But, I mean, Rocket League, the game, was in contention, but it didn't even come close to top 3. But I don't know. It's like, it's just interesting. Happy to see that the community is being represented in different ways like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch any of it. The only thing I know is that Golden Boy got Host of the Year.
Yeah,
Which
while
made me
he was
very
hosting it.
Well, yeah.
While he's hosting the show.
I mean, I personally known Golden Boy before he was big. Like,
yeah,
not as much now, but Golden Boy started from Halo, and back when I was a big competitor in Halo, and like I used to hang out with him and go get drinks with him. I don't think he remembers me too much because I've only hung out with him at events, but
Yeah.
it was really cool for someone like me who was a big Golden Boy fan, just because I grew up knowing who he is, that he got that. Like, I got to watch him start from when he only had like 5 followers and he was hosting a Call of Duty tournament in a mall that people were staring at us going, what are we doing in there?
Yeah, see,
you know.
watching stories like that is really cool.
Yeah, so for me it was like, even when I got to see, he semi remembered me when he was at RLCS New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And like I walked up to him and he goes like, recognize your face. And I go, yeah, we've had drinks together back in Halo. He goes, yeah, I can kind of remember that. And so I remember I congratulated him. I said it was so awesome to see him here at Rocket League hosting it, and you know, it made me really happy just to see how far he's gotten. But
Well,
otherwise,
cool to have y'all's paths cross again like that too, because
yeah.
you were a pro Halo player, correct?
not pro. I never
No.
made it. I was close to the I was close to semi-pro, but
Yeah,
if
I knew
may,
that you were like deeply into it.
if I may throw a plug in, so just to kind of give the reason why I wasn't watching the esports awards, I was away at DreamHack Atlanta 2019.
Oh yeah, for
and
your
our
team.
Halo team. Yeah, our Halo team was actually playing there. We placed top 8, and the top 8 teams are
Yes.
considered basically professional players. And because of the fact that we are now a pro Halo team, and I coached it, I can now actually say I am a pro Halo coach, which is
Nice.
kind of cool to have that title, because I've always wanted to be a pro Halo player.
Yeah.
But the fact that I got to coach the team and we made it as far as we did, big story about stuff that was going on in the background. I don't want to get into it because this is about Rocket League. Let's just put it this way: technical difficulties and RBG seem to line up together all the time.
It's y'all's bread and butter right there.
All the time.
I feel
man.
like it's our bread and butter here too, playing with Rockets.
I mean, I think RBG is starting to stand for like our broken gamers, because like whenever we go to an event, there's some problem. Whenever I'm host, like last week or 2 weeks ago, I was streaming the Gauntlet, and Twitch decided to poop on me, and I couldn't stream any. Like, I even switched over to Mixer to try to see if it was like a Twitch problem, and then it turns out it was just my internet. And dude,
Oh, that sucks.
but anyway, yeah, it was really cool. So kind of combining esports awards, why I missed it, and Golden Boy and Halo all together in one little meshed up
Yeah,
story.
I mean it's like cool. It's just cool though, because it's like y'all's paths kind of diverge and like y'all come back
Yeah.
together in a totally different game. Like it's just kind of neat how that works.
Yeah.
But it also just kind of goes to show like how small the esports scene still is in a large sense. Like it really isn't that big. I mean, and I'm kind of going off topic a little bit here too, but it's a light show, so we can do that. The people over at Coral Sword, where we do our streams on Mondays, they are really good friends with the owners of Dignitas. So,
Really?
like, yeah. So over the winter break and stuff, I'm gonna get to meet some of the people from Dignitas.
I really feel
Like-
like I should just go over and break down their doors, because Dignitas' HQ headquarters is right here in New Jersey.
Yeah. No,
I
but
live
they're
30 minutes from there. I should just break their doors down.
Hunter Pence, who owns Coral Sword, Him and Ming Chen, they both co-own or Coral Sword, and they're really good friends with the people over at Dignitas. So like they've gone and done shows over at Dignitas's stream, and Dignitas people have come to our place to do streams. So I'm just like, that's so freaking cool.
Ryan, if they ever send you to the Dignitas headquarters, give me a call.
I am gonna come pay you
I
a
will
personal
meet it.
visit if I do.
Yes, like give me a call. We'll hang out. I'll break into the headquarters and say I'm part of Playing with Rockets. They're gonna be like, "No, you're RBG. We know it. Get out."
We know who you are. You're not
We know
fooling
you are.
anyone.
We know it is. Get out of here.
Yeah, well, if that happens, make sure to toss that invite to me too, because I'm only like an hour and a half
No,
away.
See,
Yeah,
that's the thing. You both could literally be doing the show in the same room right now if y'all felt like it.
Well, if it wasn't a Wednesday night, maybe we could
Right.
make this
If
happen.
it was a weekend, y'all could have. I would just then need to find my way to get there.
I would sit on Perino's lap and then we would talk.
I mean, I'm down. Just hit me up later.
See, I'm thinking more. We can like IRL the podcast and like maybe go do it at a bar or something.
No, I would still sit on his lap at the bar.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, man.
Actually, if I may say real quickly, just a little throw in there, because we were doing this before the podcast, and I might as well. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so ready for you to just do it. Just do it, because like
No,
we know you're going to.
No. Actually, it was really cool. For the first time, our journalist / host of everything, Dan Swan, and I were in a room together, and we hosted our personal podcast or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, it's like monthly update deal y'all do.
Yeah. Our monthly roundup video. We actually
Yeah.
got to do it in person.
I gotta go back and watch that. That's cool.
It's not up yet.
Oh
yet.
yeah. Y'all aren't
still
doing it
putting
live
up
anymore.
together. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we just did it together on Sunday while we were still in Atlanta, and it was like really cool. And yeah, it was just funny how you mentioned like us doing a podcast in the same room, and that literally just happened this Sunday.
That's awesome,
Ryan, you and I are like right there, man. We're parallel when it comes to our ideas. This is great. I love it.
No, well, I mean we always have
missing
like
a hat.
Hey, I did my hair today. I was like, I gotta show off my hair.
hair is
I know a lot of people don't think it looks nice because I was told multiple times after I did one Rival Series stream without a hat. People were like, "Hey, you look better in a hat," and I'm like, "Okay, fair enough."
To be fair, I never said you look better in a hat. It just felt weird because I felt like the hat was like the trademark.
But it was like you had said that. People were like, "Oh, you look really good in hats." They didn't say anything like your hair looks bad. They're just like, "You look really good in hats."
Yeah, no, it's just you're always the guy that has a hat and glasses on.
I guess so,
and
man.
right now for this podcast, you have neither. If you are
Neither.
listening on any of the podcasts that are not on Twitch, you don't get to see this visual, but if you ever see a picture of Ryan, imagine him with a comb side hair and no glasses, and you're going to freak out in your car or wherever you're listening to the podcast. Don't crash, please.
I just really
definitely different from my normal. But
Oh, yeah.
we veered so far off topic. I think that wraps up the K-Dop news.
yeah.
Is this how this episode's gonna be? Because I'm down for it.
Oh gosh.
Next
what happened
bit.
with Perino and I last time, man. You can't leave us alone.
Well, even when I'm with you, it's not like I fix anything.
we just it's all good.
So
As you said,
RLCS,
it's a light week.
So this one is not RLCS related. It has been officially confirmed that Rewind Gaming is shutting down. Rewind Gaming, for those you don't know, who they are based over in Europe. They've put on a lot of tournaments. They're I would say they're really close to like organizations like Rival Esports, Nexus Esports, Boost Legacy, like all these bigger names that we all know of. And they are officially shutting down. They posted a tweet and said, quote, "This has been a long time coming and probably overdue for a little bit. We're sad to announce that Rewind Gaming will officially cease any future operations as a tournament organization. Thank you all for the great times and the huge support we've received over the last 3 years," end quote. Man, that's such a blow for the European community because it's like they don't have any organizations really doing tournaments as it is. And I mean, like, Perino heard some of the conversation between me and Eldino, but it's just like it really sucks for that community or that part of the Rocket League community.
I mean, just in general, like that really just comes to show you the what can actually happen with the lack of support of your smaller tournament organizers. I mean,
Yeah.
right now playing with Rockets, you guys are doing great because you're working with Coral Sword.
We have
RBG
other venues that help us, such as Perino and Coral Sword. Without those partnerships, like, I kid you not, this probably would have ended like half a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why we're hanging in there is because we also have our esports side with our teams, as well as partnering up with Helix Esports with some of our lands. You know, like we actually make some money out of it to make another land happen. You know, so when they're not doing that, and you're just the other thing is that the only, like, if you don't have money to support a Rocket League TO, the way to really support them is to watch the stream, help them get partnered and get bigger. And if you're not doing that, because people only want to come to the stream where the big names are coming out, but the big names never want to come out unless the prize pool is high enough. And if the prize pool isn't high enough, it's because the TOs are trying to survive long enough. And then
we're scraping
rolls.
most organizations, they're really scraping by. Like a lot of us, I mean, for me especially, like whenever we first started, it was like all the money just came from my own pockets to fund all of this. Like that's how it was. I didn't have anybody supporting me, and it was like there was definitely a set time limit for how long I was gonna be able to do that. And thankfully we managed to get help within the time frame I had for it. But it was just like, it would be so nice to see Psyonix just pick, like, I don't know, off the top of my head, 3 North America, 3 European tournament organizations, and just said, hey, we will give you guys a stipend to put on tournaments for us. In return, you have to provide something of high quality to us, and this is the purpose of us doing this, is so you provide high quality results for us to use in seeding the play-ins for rival series. I would be so down for that. Even if we weren't chosen, like I would like to see some support for the communities. I mean, I would love for them to try and bring back Renegade Cup. I mean, I thought that was a nice gesture on Psyonix's part, and I mean, it sadly doesn't look like that's coming back, but still, it's just like, it'd be nice to have that type of stuff again.
Yeah, because the other thing I think people don't realize too is that, you know, outside of the financial and, you know, monetary support, you know, viewership, whatever, it's just frankly a lot of work to do as well. You know, for playing with Rockets, I largely just do the podcast, and, you know, I've stuck my neck into doing some casting, but the behind the scenes stuff, like the stuff that goes into seeding and actually running the tournaments and doing stream production and finding casters and, you know, being an admin on Smash and all of that stuff, like it takes people, and I'll tell you what, especially for the community stuff, practically nobody's paid. You know, it's all volunteer and it's all just hard work and effort. So it's a lot of effort and work to put into it if you don't see a return, and that can be demoralizing, I think.
I mean, what's it called? Just at the beginning of this podcast, we were making a small joke. We were saying, how are you doing, Randomize? I said, I'm still working. I was actually setting up a tournament that RBG is hosting, like, right now. Like, it is literally happening. I for anyone that's watching the podcast, you could see someone to the right side of my screen. I'm watching my bracket. Like, I'm literally working and staring at my bracket because we're short at hand today. We have literally a caster who is also streaming the event while the other one's casting. I'm here because
that is such a rough job too. I
do it all the time, dude.
After having done it for myself for so long, and like now that I don't have to do it anymore, I'm just like, I don't know how I did it as long as I did.
Like you feel like you're in a spa with your feet up, you know, drinking.
Oh yeah,
it's
like, I would like to say it's more relaxed, but I'm still like, if you ask Exotonic or Igarza what it looks like in studio with me during a match, I'll be commentating with them and still looking down at my laptop to help follow bracket and do certain other things. And I'm like,
yep.
And so they'll be sitting there, and they're going to be, if you listen closely, you'll hear sometimes like they'll just go on for a little extra amount of time than normal. And it's because I'm not paying attention for a few moments.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. There's so many times where I have a hotkey because I have my. I don't know if I'll be able to get this in the camera. Nope. I have my
Cable's
my
too
Elgato.
short. Sorry about that.
I have my Stream Deck Elgato right next to me, and that's
those
how
things are so nice.
Dude, that's how I run a lot of my stream now. It's just
I need
using
one.
Elgato.
I need one so bad.
You get one, and I literally click away at everything. The only time I need to type is putting team names in. Otherwise, everything is just Elgato on my left hand. Like right now in the camera, you can't see my arm and hand moving. I literally even have a mic mute for the stream, and like within seconds of casting, sometimes I'll have to look at something, and I could be literally saying, Ryan hit the ball, Perino blocks him, mutes, and I literally mute saying take over. I'll go back in and go, Ryan goes for the shot, and then I'll stop talking, and the other caster will come in. Like, what goes on in people's brains you'd be surprised what we actually have to go through just to do this.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy task running any of this stuff, and it's like, it sucks though, because it's like, that everybody who does it in the community though, a majority of us, I have to put a little asterisk next to that. A majority of us really do it just because we love doing it, to be honest. Like we
complain, but we do love it.
No, yeah, and that's the thing, is like, we'll complain, but it's largely we complain to each other. And so it's like, it's good to see organizations when they pop up, but it's also really sad when you see them have to shut down like this. And I mean, for me, it's not so much a big deal for the North American scene, because our community scene is actually pretty active. And it could just be because I'm not super involved in the European community that I don't know as much, but for everything I've seen and for what I know, they don't have a lot of tournament organizations running for them, and that sucks.
Yeah, I think it's hard as well because, especially with the EU tournament organizers, it's hard to get everything like in one place. Everything is so, like, all the players and the casters and the production people are also spread out. And
well, I mean, we're spread out too, though. That's the thing, though, is it's like, I mean, none of us are even, I mean, you both are in the same state, but typically everybody that we're working with is in a different state, and we still manage to get everything running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There is a definite disparity, I would say, in community events, but it depends on you have to support it too. It's a two-way street with that. It's not as though you can just sit there and say, oh, well, there's no one running tournaments. Well, are people playing? Are people watching? Are people coming out? So it goes both ways, certainly. But yeah, that's just it's how it is at the moment,
Yeah, I mean, it's really just another big tournament organization kind of biting the dust. I mean, you look at the other big names for North America: Boost Legacy, Nexus Esports, and Mythical Esports. None of them have technically shut down, but they haven't been active in quite some time. So you can assume that they're kind of done. I mean, that's how I interpret it, at least.
Yeah, and particularly in the case of Nexus, because I remember back in the long time ago,
they used to be the biggest thing on the block, man.
Oh, they were. I mean, they were the biggest thing on the block, no doubt about it. But it's just it's hard to watch them go through, basically the end cycle of where they say that they're coming back, and then they do like a couple of events, and then
that was hard to see. Oh, we're coming back. We're on hiatus, but we're back now. And they do 2 events, and then it's kind of just, where are you? Where'd you go?
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of that too has to do with just people growing older and not having the time to do it. I mean, the 3 of us, we're all, again, relative to the age of the scene, we're all older.
Yeah.
But you get new relationships, you get new jobs. There's things outside of Rocket League. Especially because the majority of the people who are organizing and running these things are adults.
Yeah.
There are things that happen
trying
outside
to kind of do it in their spare time.
Yeah, and that can get tight very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you also have the cases of sometimes people who, and I'm guilty of this too, but just whenever you run these types of organizations, you kind of get so caught up into it that sometimes you neglect personal life things that you shouldn't be neglecting.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it's one of the things that I have yet to meet a single person who's in charge of an organization who doesn't have that issue, or is heavily involved with an organization and doesn't have that issue. And it's just a common trait that all of us have, because we care so much about what we're doing, but at the same time, sometimes we care a little too much, and we put our own lives aside for possibly nothing in return. I mean, our streams still don't really average that high of a viewership, but we still do it just because we like doing it, you know? And we know that at the end of the day, it is good for the community. I mean, it helps. Our results were used in a past rival series. Unfortunately, they couldn't get used this time around, but I mean, we know that we're helping in some way, no matter how small.
I mean, I do love your podcast on Spotify. I'll just throw it out there. I listen to the podcast on Spotify all the time.
Hey, if anything right now, like, huge props to Perino, because he's helped me out so much with it, because I'm one of those people who, like, real life is hitting me, man, and I'm getting so busy with, like, my new job and just being married that it sometimes gets really rough for me to maintain work on it also. I mean, Perino, he's helping keep this show afloat, man.
Well, because I love doing it, and admittedly, once I put in, I think it was difficult initially off the top to get it set up and rolling, but once we established a process and a schedule and a format, once all of those things are in line, it really sort of sets in. And I don't know, I just think that it does take a lot of effort. There are things that I do after the show, in particular with the post-production stuff, that take time and effort, but
yeah,
I love doing it.
And that part is so time consuming. I mean, Randomize, I don't know how much of it you have to deal with. I know that you have someone who kind of helps y'all with that, but just post-production stuff is so intensive. Just making a freaking thumbnail is the stupidest thing. And there are people who, like, that's their job, is to make thumbnails.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. We used to do it all until I got lucky and got me a Jakester. I mean, I keep telling everybody, you should get yourself a Jakester, because this man is a god. He works... he works so much for barely anything. And, like, I keep asking him, like, if we're putting too much on you, you just say the word and we will stop. We're trying to find.
Back off.
Yeah, like, literally, like, he's almost doing, like, slave work. It feels so bad, but, like, the man.
That's a bit intense.
But dude, you don't understand. Like, look at the videos that are going out. Like, go on our YouTube channel. Look at all these arts that's going out. All this. That's Jakester. That's him. The man works his butt off for nothing, and every time I ask him, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it."
I'm good, bro.
He's literally just, he's sitting there. He's like, "Sorry, I couldn't." Like, he feels bad when he can't get a video out.
He apologizes to you.
Yeah, he's just like, "I'm really sorry, I can't get this video out when you wanted to because I have some schoolwork." I'm like, "Then do your schoolwork, dude. Like,
That's definitely more important."
You're good, my man. Like, we feel more bad that we can't find someone to help you with this work. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's fine, but, like, I really want to make sure that I can get this video out in time." I'm like, "Jakester, I love you, my man. Take a break." Like, literally, we're getting to the point now where we're trying to even budget just trying to cover his, like, Adobe stuff. Because this man does so much at this point.
Because he just does such a great amount of work for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was a dedicated fan, and then when I found out he makes videos, I was like, all right, get on here. I need you. Like, quick tip for anyone on the side. If you have any talent in graphics, designing, videos, and stuff like that, or just anything esports wise, make friends with these guys above. Make friends with me. Just chat. Don't push it on us that you do something. Become friends with us, because you more than likely will end up being in a spot that we might need. So if you want to get yourself in esports. Okay, so that's done.
He's like, I'm off my soapbox now.
I mean, legitimately, I put the work that I do for the podcast on my resume. Like, it is actually on my resume.
No, I put playing with rocket stuff on my resume. That actually helped me get the job I have currently.
Oh,
like,
wow.
because I now am a sports and aquatics director for the YMCA, so I run youth sports. I run youth sports leagues. Yeah, they had like a whole it was like a dragon boat thing, so we had like this whole competition between centers, and they legit played that song and everybody danced along with it, and I was just like, this just feels so much more corny than normal.
I know every time I'd walk inside, if I worked at any YMCA, I know I would just like, there wouldn't be any music. I would just be doing the YMCA every time I walk through the door. That's it. I wouldn't do anything else. Just a quick YMCA, walk through the door. Maybe like when I see my boss, just do a quick young man dance and then I'd be out.
Young man.
Like, that's what I'd probably do every day. I would not be able to take it serious.
Don't play this song. We're gonna get copyright striked on YouTube.
Yeah, just for singing a song, you can be copyright strike. This is stupid. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add on this rewind gaming topic, real quick?
Yeah, just please support your TOs. Like,
support them.
Just
you don't have to support us. I mean, love us or hate us. I don't care.
Yeah, everyone though. Like, if you know, I'm my last thing. Sorry, I was in the middle of work and they got to rant and I didn't get to rant. But like, my biggest thing is I'm tired of people just staying behind Twitter and then not doing anything, being high Facebook, anything. And this has to do with real life, but I'm going to keep it to TOs and Rocket League. Stop saying we need more people to host tournaments. We need to.
There's not enough tournaments being run.
Not enough tournaments being run. There are so many tournaments being run, but no one is looking, because if they don't see 4 digits in the prize pool, they don't show up.
Exactly.
Start looking at the money. Start looking at who's hosting it. Look at the look at
the competition that shows up.
There's so many times like
the teams that make it to the rival series. A vast majority of them who are in there have played with us and you guys. I know.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at what was the team? It just went right out of my head. The old one. Chicken.
Avidity.
Thank you. Avidity Esports almost became one of the biggest upsets. They played in.
Oh man, I thought they were gonna make it.
They were in. So did I. They were in Playing with Rockets. I saw them multiple times when I'd swing by. Yeah. They've been in a lot of gauntlets. I see them in World of Rockets a lot. Like, those are 3 tournaments that happen on 3 separate days. That is a Monday, Wednesday,
and that's a
Thursday.
high quality team to be playing against too.
Yeah, don't tell me there's not enough tournaments when a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday is all booked for Rocket League, and then you don't show up just because there's nobody's that playing the tournament and there's not a lot of money. Use it as practice.
And the other thing though is people get mad that we host these on a weekday. So I actually got pinged in one of these for Playing with Rockets. On Twitter, someone posted a poll saying, how many of you would rather tournament organizations host stuff on the weekend when we have time when we don't have school and stuff? And like, everybody voted yes, and like virtually no one voted no. And someone in the comment section said at PWR Leagues. And so I responded and I was just like, hey, based on our setup with our studio, we have the time slot for Monday. That's why we do our tournaments on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. That's why we do it. But on the other side of that, good luck finding people who want to volunteer their time every single weekend.
Yeah. No,
the weekend is your time off work for a lot of people. Good luck finding anybody who's going to want to give their time for their weekend, week in and week out. You guys did that for a while, and I don't know how y'all did it because I couldn't do the weekends like that.
It's one of the reasons why we got off. We used to be Sundays, and actually, when we first started, it used to be Saturdays, and then I almost lost my relationship. So then we moved to the Mondays, and that's when we were against you guys. And I was like, I don't like this because Playing with Rockets is cool. So let's break off and go on to Sundays. We started doing Sunday events, so we weren't on top of Playing with Rockets, and I almost lost my relationship again.
Yeah.
And, see, are you guys starting to pick up something? Like, there's a lot of real life stuff that goes on while you're sitting there playing your little Rocket League game, flipping cars around. I'm almost flipping tables because my girlfriend is like, "You're just screaming at a camera and calling it a job." And I'm like, "That's what
calling it a job."
That's what Markiplier and PewDiePie does. Leave me alone. They're my idol.
Oh no!
I love the Poods. and the Jacksepticeyes, but no, my girlfriend does get it, but like in reality, like like that's what people aren't seeing. Like we're not robots that just like after this podcast turns off, I don't just like tilt to the side and turn off until I get back to the Gauntlet stream and then turn back on and say, "Hey everybody, this is Randomize. Welcome to RBG Gauntlet." Like no, it doesn't. Like I'm out of New York City every day, working my butt off, sweating, dying from horrible.
Yeah, you were telling about that
and,
before the episode started.
Yeah, like I almost died today. I almost impaled my head into a rusty screw. Yeah, I had to dodge something within seconds and grab on. And yeah, there almost was no randomized today. But
you almost didn't message me back to come on the show.
And it wouldn't have been my fault. But that's what I mean. Like I go through that's why RBG $30 gauntlet, because it was $10 from me, $10 from Swan, and $10 from either Beard Runner or World Car, or other two. And that's what it was every week, was just out of our paycheck. We work our butts off to do this, and it's we don't want to yes, I would love to do it on weekends, but here's the fun part: we started hosting them on Sundays, and we were getting less and less people. We are hosting on a Monday night. The RBG Gauntlet is happening at the moment. This stream is being live and recorded if you're watching or listening later on, and we have 4, 6, 8. No, sorry, I'm trying to find that last 48 teams. 48 teams.
It's pretty good.
That's
48
awesome.
teams.
That's actually a really good turnout for a community tournament.
That's a great turnout.
That's one thing I've really liked about our qualifiers that we're doing, is we've been getting 50 plus teams every single week, and I'm like, dang, people want to get in this.
But why? Why though? Because you have a 4-digit prize pool.
Yeah.
I bet.
Granted, we were like, if we're gonna offer this much money, I got the money together over the course of the entire year for this to happen, and I'm
so mad you didn't tell me, man. I would have totally almost doubled down on this and made this even a bigger event with you.
We'll talk next. We'll talk for this next one.
Yes,
we'll work something out between us and you guys for it.
Yes, that would be amazing. This is something that you and I definitely can work on together. But anywho, yes, I can imagine you probably saved so much money to get this big prize pool to happen.
I could have offered larger weekly prize pools, but since I was doing this, I kept them lower.
Right. And I'm not saying playing with Rockets is bad quality. Heck, I think you guys are probably one of the better ones out of all these weekly tournaments that host really good quality. Even over us. And because the prize pool's not that big, I don't always see big names. Like tonight, we have some pretty good names. Like we have Sway Esports. And I
actually asked Raw Greg if he wanted to be on the show with us tonight. He goes, can't, doing the gauntlet.
But that's what I mean. We have good teams coming out tonight. Absolute Leverage is in here, which is amazing. I don't know this number, but it's Rodoko's team. Retrospect is in here. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just showing the fact that there are good quality name players.
If anything, be a part of these tournaments just for the experience alone, because you get to play some teams that you get to play against players who are eventually going to for sure be in the rival series or have been in the rival series.
Right. I mean, Lemon Puppy's in here right now. He's playing in his
former RLCS player.
Right. I mean, they're but if you're and that's the other thing. If you're also not a high rank, if you're not a GC, join the tournaments anyway. Get knocked out round 1 and just keep getting knocked out round 1.
It's just a fun experience in general.
Yeah, even if it's it's free. We're not even allowed to charge
per Sunrise community guidelines. We can't.
Event. How do TOs stay alive if we can't even charge for the event? Yeah. And if we're still willing, time and time again, RBG is on their 39th gauntlet tonight. And we have never asked for any entrance fee because we're not allowed.
Yeah, we can't.
We're still here. What is holding you back from playing it? Playing with Rockets, RBG, Mythical Esports, World of Rockets, every single tournament should be maxed out, beyond maxed out.
Yeah.
But no, you don't show up, and I don't understand. Like we hosted. I'm sorry.
No,
you should have
I'm
not
with
brought
you.
up this rewind thing, man, because I'm on a full rant right now.
It was news. I had to. It doesn't help that like it hits so close to home for people like us because like we are so close to that. Like
Right.
It's so hard watching a organization, especially like Rewind, who has had the opportunity to work with Psionics. They've done a tournament. They did Renegade Cup. They also did their own tournament, the Climb or something else with Psionics. And so it's like they did something else though. I know they did something else aside from just Renegade Cup. But it's so hard watching it because it just as easily could be us or you guys or World of Rockets or anybody else going next because there's just a lack of support. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I know everything that's going on with Rewind Gaming. Some of it could just be that they got tired of doing it. I understand that, but it's like it's rough, man. It is really rough out there being a community organization.
Yeah, and that's why it just like it gets to me a little bit when I hear these complaints. Like when I read that tweet,
I take them personally when I get them.
I do. Yeah, so same. And like, like this is not something people normally agree or like admit to. Like, but when I've read the rewind tweet, I'll be honest, I shed a tear. I was legitimately sad about it too when I saw it. I sat down, like I was with the players. Like I was away in Atlanta. I was with the players. We're having a good time. And I read that tweet. I stepped out of the room. Everyone was like, "Are you okay?" Like, I had people.
Because
like,
I didn't expect that to go. I didn't expect them to leave.
And it hit me because one, I looked up to Rewind, in many ways of running TOs, and two, it literally just struck my head, going, "That could be me."
Yeah. No, that was the exact same thought that hit me too. I was like, that could easily be us next.
Like we put our heart and soul into this just so that it could crash. Like it blows my mind when you have a free tournament. Like we hosted one Dota Underlord tournament, and we maxed out in 5 hours. 64 players. Get this, 64 players. We maxed out in 5 hours. We released it at 11 p.m. Eastern at night. We forgot to release it earlier. We released it at night, 11 p.m. I woke up to a full roster, and then about 30 more people requesting a wait list in case no one showed up, and 2 DQ'd out of 64 people. 2.
Yeah,
but see, it's just like there's a lot of esports scenes that it's like the second someone steps in to offer a tournament, they're like, gimme, and then I don't know. It's weird sometimes, but
like Crimson Wings is coming in, and they gotta like I give them credit because they're doing exactly what we did at the beginning. They just hunkered their pants up, grabbed onto much cash as they can, and threw a big tournament right off the bat, and tried to get as many big names to come in. Like they've been banging at my front door, kicking it with their freaking heels at this moment, trying to get RBG to come in everything, because they know if the big names are in there, then people are going to want to come in and play.
I've casted for them before. They're a really nice group of guys.
They are. They're great people, and I'm very happy for them. But it's like at the same time, it's like I worry for them.
Yeah,
because they had to bring out the big guns at the beginning.
Yeah,
like. I don't know anything about their financial background, and I don't want to know anything about their financial background.
I cast for them, and I don't even know.
Yeah, like I don't want to know that. I just worry that they might have come out guns a-blazing and then not realized how much ammo they had, because that's what I've noticed a lot of small TOs have done. They've all come in, they've been like, "Hey, can we be on your notable events thing on RBG?" And we keep saying no because we already have enough and we don't want any more. Because we're switching. We're trying to say, hey, we're not just a Rocket League organization. We do other things. Yeah.
But, y'all are trying. I understand for you guys because y'all are starting to do so much more things that y'all are trying to kind of step away from that.
Yeah. So we're trying to just close the gates on that. Which, by the way, I don't know why you guys never use Ryan.
It's because we don't advertise anywhere. We don't bother advertising anywhere, man, because we know that. We're now a well-known enough name that people just know we're
not
you don't post in ours. What are you talking about? You have clearance to come post in our server, and you don't do it.
Now
I have that
well-known organism.
I have that stuff on notification, so if anybody posts there, I see it. You don't post. Don't act like it's one way here, man. It's both ways.
I know.
Anyway, though, we've all bitched enough. We're gonna move on to the next bit.
We need to talk about RLCS. Let's talk about who's going to Worlds.
This is the important part, okay? We already know who all is going to Worlds. I'm going to read off that list for you guys really quickly, and then we're going to go into discussion on Randomize's team and whether they're going to make it in the auto qualification or not. Oh.
Nope. I'm just kidding.
You got to have more faith than that, man.
Move on.
But the teams that have made it into the auto qualification for North America consists of Pittsburgh Knights, Energy Esports, E United, and Space Station Gaming. So congratulations to them on making their way into that. For Europe, those teams are going to be Team Reciprocity, Renault Vitality, Veloce Esports, and Dignitas. For Oceania, we have Renegades and Canberra Havoc. Drippe is not going to Worlds.
Bum, bum, bum.
I was so sad to see that.
I had to throw that one in.
The match that would have taken them to Worlds was against Canberra Havoc, and they lost in the best of 7 series 4-3. So Drippe is unfortunately not going to be at Worlds. But moving on to South America, the two teams that will be joining us from there are the Three Sins and Low Key Esports.
Low-key.
Yeah, Low-key again. They're making their way back. Proud of those guys. And then same with Renegades over in Oceania. So he's like, oh, whatever about these guys, man. He's like, we compete against them in Halo, you know.
No, we don't actually. Renegades is gone. They left, man.
Oh.
Yeah, they were gone.
See, I don't know these
while.
things.
You gotta watch our stuff and you'll know.
Yeah, and Broba there in chat, the Three Sins played out of their mind, though. Low-key had nothing on them. And that was the thing, too, is Three Sins, like, destroyed Low-key in that final match. So Low-key was expected to come in, get first in that final tournament, go into Worlds with the first place South America seed, and they didn't stand a chance. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit, actually, for all of these results, that I didn't get the chance to watch them live because I was away. And so, but you know, when I checked, you know, the subreddit and Twitter and stuff after, when I saw that result, that one drew my eye because I thought low-key were just going to come out.
Yeah,
you know,
they like
and
destroyed
roll
the
region.
entire South America bracket throughout league play. I said bracket, but they did well in league play.
We know what you meant.
You guys get the lingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Is there anyone you're like, rather than focus on who's made it here, is there anybody aside from G2 and Cloud9 that you guys are surprised that you're not going to see at Worlds?
Lotus.
Ghost.
Lotus
Wow, we're
and
nowhere
Ghost.
near each other.
I'm asking for like any region. I'm not asking for any specific region.
I'm sorry, that was just really funny. We were nowhere near.
You go first. Talk about Lotus.
All right, well, I mean, Lotus they had a really good season. They had a great season. Like last season, they were fighting, and they were kind of like in there.
Yeah.
And then this season, they did great. They got second seed, and it was just a giant choke in the playoffs against the Three Sins. And it was just a big shock for me because I was like, who the heck is this Three Sins team? In league play, they got fourth. I don't know any of the players.
Yeah,
like,
I looked at the players. I was like, I don't know who any of these guys are.
yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, this is the thing that I love and hate about Rocket League. It doesn't matter what the heck is on the paper. Anything can happen. In any other game, in any other, like even for example, because I could just say this past weekend in Halo, when Tox and Lux Esports or Lux Gaming made it to the finals. That's on paper. We knew that. That was Seed 1 and Seed 2 playing each other in the final. Like any other
That's
esport.
textbook.
You're right. There's so like I can't find another esport that falls off the textbook as much as Rocket League does. Like name me an esport.
Rocket
And,
League
like,
is so ridiculous.
God.
And I love it.
I love it. I hate it because it's like For you
As a team owner, it sucks for you.
Oh, God, it's so annoying because again, if we look by paper, technically, RBG shouldn't make RLCS.
Yeah.
Technically, if we look by paper, but we beat Afterthought.
Yeah.
And they're second seed. So technically, by paper, if
there's a chance still.
Yeah, oh God, dude.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
I know. Trust me. That's why I'm not talking too much about it. But like, that's why my point is like paper-wise, it's just so confusing. I mean, I can't even understand Peroni. You said Ghost. Tell me why, and I bet you $20 I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah, so Ghost was a team actually that I had been constantly, and if you've listened to the show for a long time, you'll have constantly heard how I think this team was incredibly underrated. I think Atomic showed up in a huge way. I think he was a standout player in this season.
Atomic was a monster. That dude is crazy.
Yeah. Oh my.
And when, after, they had gotten 4th or 5th, I forget which one, in one of those spots, and I remember looking at it and saying, oh, Ghost should have this. And I was stunned that they didn't make it through.
I couldn't believe they dropped the ball again.
And again, I'll be the first to say it. Like, I didn't catch the results live. I didn't see the games live. So I can't really comment on how well or how poorly they played.
Their match against Pittsburgh Knights was back and forth the entire series. The second it hit Game 7, it's like they turned off their PCs and called it a day because they got demolished in Game 7. Like, it wasn't even a competition. Like, the other matches were so close, and then Game 7, it was just a blowout in favor of the Knights.
Like, here, just to give anyone that hasn't seen it, Game 1, 4-3 Ghost. Game 2, 3-2 Pittsburgh, overtime, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Yeah. Game 3, Ghost actually demolished 4-1. Game 4, Pittsburgh takes 2-0. Game 5, 3-1. Pittsburgh takes Game 6, 2-1. And then Ghost fell asleep.
Yeah.
6-2.
Like, how do you go from these close games that are all within, like, 1 or 2 goals max, pretty much, to suddenly you just get blown out of the water? Like, I think their last goal that Ghost got was in like the last 50 seconds. It was it was bad. I was like, dude, like, y'all had this. And Atomic was looking so freaking good. Like, the guy's a god. If he's one of the guys who I'm looking at, Ghost is either going to make a roster change and remove Memory or Lucian, or he's jumping ship to go to another team. That's what I think's happening this next season.
Yeah, and Broba in the chat is asking, is offering an answer perhaps as to why they didn't perform well. A lot of it is pressure too. It's just mental at that point. You know what the stakes are if you win that one game. And in Rocket League in particular, because there's so much variance in simply how one game can go, when you hit those Game 7s, so much of it is mental.
Well, finish your thought.
Yeah, and I just, you see that and you hate to see it, and then they finally get to a point where it's just winner take all, one game and you're in, and that's what happens. I mean, it's part of sports, it's part of esports, it's part of life. Sometimes you're going to get to that, that one step before you hit your goal, and sometimes you're just going to fall short. It's just a question of how you respond. And I think for this season overall for Ghost, I think they can hang their heads high. I'm not sure that too many people going into the season had.
I don't think they can hang their heads very high, man. I mean, they should have gone to Worlds this season. Like, if there was going to be a season they went to Worlds, it should have been this one. I mean, the other thing too, though, is, and Reynolds stated this in his post-game interview, of Atomic was the reason they struggled so much. Like, they just really had a hard time dealing with Atomic. But you see, they end up losing Game 7 here. Then they go up against E United in the losers bracket, and they lose that 3-4. They go all the way to Game 7. And the worst thing about that one is they lost Game 1, then won Games 2, 3, and 4.
They just need one more.
Just need one more. You have 3 games to pull off that next win. And they dropped all 3 of the next games after that.
Which
all
the
of them,
last game was a 4-minute OT.
yeah,
A
and it's like
4-minute
it was such a close series, and it's just like, guys, like, come on, y'all had this in the bag. What are you doing? And it's like, it just sucks to see that they let up off the gas. It feels like they just let up off the gas against Pittsburgh Knights, and I wish they hadn't.
Well, here's my big take on this as well. That you got to really think about it. Is that I remember this gives me small flashbacks, and when I say small, I mean giant flashbacks.
Fear streaking through my eyes.
Oh yeah, 2 different dream hacks. I remember DreamHack Dallas. When we got eliminated, day 1 was actually against Rogue.
Yeah,
and we brought it to game number 5, and Rogue just like they became another person in game 5, and then in DreamHack
that's just
Montreal,
Rogue in general, though. They
right? But
they're a weird team.
But I mean, this. I'm just talking about an RLCS team. Look at DreamHack Montreal. We played Ghost on main stage. We 2-0 them, and then they reverse swept us.
Yeah.
With the final shot being a buzzer shot. Like, there was nothing to come back to. Like, we were going to go into OT, and they got us on a buzzer shot. People just play so differently in the last game, and it's just... Honestly, I feel like... And this is something I told my team in the past. When you get to that last game of a best 3, 5, or 7, whatever it is, when you get to that last game, just don't... just expect the unexpected. Don't play adjusting to those last set amount of games.
Yeah.
Because they are not going to play like any of those games. And I mean, I'm sorry, Perino, but I'm with Ryan on this. I really don't think Ghosts want to hang their head high. If anything, they're only going to hang their head high. Cloud9 and G2 are in the promotional tournament.
Yeah, they don't have to deal with that.
That's the only reason why they get to keep their heads up high.
Is that they are guaranteed to come back next season.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see what changes they make in the offseason. And, I mean, we're going to have plenty to talk about on that later. But we've talked a lot about what's going on with those top 12. Let's move into the main topic that we need to discuss here. But real quick, Perino, is there anything else you want to add on that? I know I kind of cut you off. Is there anything else you wanted to say about Ghost or anything?
I actually disagree. I don't think they're going to make a roster change next season, but we'll
really.
Again, it's a topic for another day. I don't want to go into it too much, but we can switch it over because I know we're coming short on time too. So.
Nah, it's all good. We're gonna go over time.
There's never taken out Lafreniere, and that's why I'm gonna leave it.
They look so much better without him.
Anyway, this weekend. This weekend. This weekend is the tournament to determine who auto qualifies from the rival series into the RLCS. So the teams are for North America: Charlotte Phoenix, Afterthought in the upper bracket. Winner of that game automatically qualifies. You just have to win one best of 7 series, and you're into the RLCS. In the losers bracket, we got RBG Esports with Chaos Esports Club. Winner of that will face the loser of Charlotte and Afterthought, and then winner of that game qualifies. So, Randomize, I'm going to give you your chance here in a minute, but I want to start with Perino because I know I want to give you a moment to kind of sort out some of those thoughts going on in your head. I know you got some.
We're going to dominate. No, I'm just kidding.
So, Perino, looking at this set of 4 teams, what are your thoughts? Who do you think's going to make it?
Okay. So when I look at it, I really do, and Mr. Randomize is there. This is the part where you
Mr. Randomize.
You did it really quick. You did it really quick.
Just
Mr.
not
Randomize.
There you go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There you
and speak.
go. Okay. All right. So I really do think the top 2 teams are going to be the one that auto qualify through. I know that a lot of these teams have had really good seasons. I do think Charlotte and Afterthought deserve their spots as 1 and 2. I think they will both go through in this spot. I don't give me that look. I can see you.
He's like trying to hold them up, just like I want to hear a little bit, but I don't. I want to listen, but I don't.
I think they'll both go through. as the 1 and the 2. We'll see what happens. I dare not make a prediction. I'd love to hear what the CEO of RBG would have to say about.
So real quick, just to clarify, you believe that it's going to be Charlotte, Phoenix, and Afterthought who qualify?
Yes.
Who auto qualify, which means they don't have to face Cloud9.
Yeah, they don't have to go into the tournament.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is Perino's thought process. Okay, Randomize.
You're just backing him up right now.
Let her rip, man.
That was the.
Go ahead. Bring it back.
You just mean that, right? Like we're not.
I'm just
promotional.
clarifying for the viewers.
You're just trying to pull Perino out of the hole that I'm about to dig him into.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, let's hear it.
We already know who you're going in favor of.
All right,
you're like the ultimate fanboy, Randomize.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Charlotte, Phoenix, and Chaos Esports. So no, I'm just kidding. Like, wait a minute.
I was about to say, hold the phone.
Oh God, knock on wood. That might actually happen. All right, so here's my thing, right? And again, this is the whole: do we go by the book? Do we go by our guts?
Yeah.
Do we just,
I mean, E United was down with Rogue and they qualified. So, I mean, really anything can happen. E United was a team that everybody was like, oh, I even was saying it at the start of the season, bottom of the league standings. They did better than that. Not only that, they qualified for Worlds and they held their spot for RLCS. Like, teams can prove us wrong all the time.
So here's where things get a little sticky and a little fun. So it seems that this, if we can figure out a fourth element to add to the game of rock, paper, scissors, it seems like everyone is their rock, paper, scissors. The only team I could see not being the rock, paper, scissors is RBG and Charlotte. I mean, sorry, Chaos.
Yeah.
So we beat Chaos 3-2 during league play. This past weekend, we played in a tournament with I think it was the Crimson Wings tournament, and we lost 2-3. Now, whether or not our guys took it as serious because it was just a tournament and not league play, I don't know. I was away at Atlanta again. So we are now in the books between league play starting and where we are at the moment. We are now 1-1 with Charlotte. I mean, with Chaos. Dang it, they both start with the CHA. That's true. Oh, God, now I know why people get mad. Like, now I get it, the whole RGB thing. Oof. Charlotte Phoenix beat Afterthought in a 3-0 during the season. But Afterthought is supposedly a really good team. Afterthought also has, like, leftover pros.
Yeah,
without trying to sound like a meaning.
That's. But, I understand what you mean though, and just pros who have kind of unfortunately found their way out.
Yeah, like especially Sathu and Dapper, both been out for a while. Shock now being out. Like Afterthought is literally the name. They're the afterthought. Like they're like, oh wait, we could have. Too late. Like
yeah,
that's what I feel it as. The fact that Afterthought got as far as they did, good for them. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Did I see this season being a 7-2 for them? No, I'm going to be honest. Swan brought up a really good point when we talked about stuff. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good team, blah, blah, blah. He's like, these are just a lot of good players meshed on a team. The only reason why they're going to do good, bless you, the only reason why they're going to do good during RLRS is because you have teams that are just like they play together. Bless you. They play.
I don't know why I'm sneezing so much.
Just right.
I'm trying. I pulled myself as far away from my mic as I could.
Until I do a somersault up your chair. But we thought it is. Afterthought is just a good mesh of players. We think they're a good team? We don't know. We're going to see it more likely if they make it to RLCS. That's where we really think the real test is going to come in for Afterthought. They're all just very knowledgeable players. So beating a bunch of RLRS players, in my opinion, isn't hard for them. RBG is more of a solidified team. Charlotte Phoenix is more of a solidified team. Chaos Esports is in between the idea of a solidified team and kind of like a leftover. Because Corrupted G came from EG, the whole EG crap that happened.
Yeah, that was just...
I think it was a great pickup for Taroko and Mektos to pick up Corrupted G.
Yeah.
And having Sad Jr., honestly, as their coach, like, I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah,
You know,
no, that's a
Sad-
good coach to pick up.
Yeah,
sure.
because Sad Jr. was originally Cloud9's coach, and then they get rid of him to put on what's his name? That we shall not speak of because he betrayed my favorite team. And and no, I'm just joking. But honestly, you know, if I knew Sad Jr. was gonna be looking for another one, I mean, I love subbing.
Yeah.
Man, I would have totally reached out to him. But either way, it just comes to proof he's a good coach. He was able to take this team that, in my opinion, was like a flip of a coin. It was like Chaos Esports was either a demolishing team because the duo out of Toroko and Mektos is amazing. And Corrupted G just has that mind because he's a good player. I think he's a great player. And now having Sad Jr. in the background, helping them out, it's a scary team.
Yeah.
You know? But if I had to give you, bias answer, my bias answer is that Afterthought is actually going to come out swinging, take Charlotte Phoenix down, and then we're going to take them out and we're going to move into RLCS. That's my bias answer.
Okay.
Okay? We got that out of the way. Now,
We got the fanboy answer out of the way.
Yeah. Now my real answer, the playing with rockets Ryan style answer, aka caster side.
The analytical side.
Analytical side. I wanted to give you some credit, man, but fine.
Don't give me any credit. I'm not worth anything.
Oh.
But my analytical side, don't ever say that about yourself again, Ryan. How dare you?
Oh, God. Compare me to any other caster. Pfft. Anyway, let's move off from me.
Okay, so in reality, I think Afterthought is going to come out swinging, but I made the joke of them beating Charlotte Phoenix. I think Charlotte Phoenix is going to win this. I think they're going to move right back into RLCS because I'm also trying to go with the factor of who wants it the most. And Charlotte Phoenix is X-Splice with Shadow.
And Shadow is a beast of a player.
He's a
That
great
was
player.
hands down, that was a hell of a pickup for them.
That was a great pickup. Dude with the nose was definitely slacking. It was a good idea to keep him as a sub because he has that nice mesh with Karma and Jay Wismont. You know, Jimmer's still in the background coaching, so it's good.
Mhm.
I think that was a great pickup for them. It worked out great for them. I think they're the ones out of everyone that is going to want RLCS the most. Ironically, you would always think the people that weren't on RLCS are going to want it more. No, the ones that were in it for a season got their ass wrecked and back in RLRS again after 2 seasons of that. They wanted the most. They want to get out. They want to stay in RLCS. So I think the heart of the player, I believe in the heart of the player also really affects how you're going to play.
Yeah.
I believe Charlotte Phoenix is going to take Afterthought, and it's probably going to be a 4-2. Afterthought is going to fall down. Now, the Chaos Esports versus RBG is a little scary. You know, in the playbook since, like I said, since league play started to now, we are 1-1 with Chaos Esports. I think if our players get pressure out of the head, because that's the problem, is that our guys fall under pressure a little easily.
Yeah.
Especially Aeon, because Aeon admits it. He falls under pressure. But man, when that guy has the backup of Rapid cheering him, when Rapid pumps Aeon in, and when Seabass plays like Seabass does, the team is unstoppable.
No, when I was casting you guys, I got that feeling too.
Yeah. So as long as Aeon stays comfortable, they allow no one shuts Seabass down, or if the team recognizes that Seabass is getting shut down and Rapid and Aeon can really step up, we'll take on Chaos Esports and we'll get them probably in a 4-3. I think it will probably go to game 7. It's gonna be sweaty. I'm gonna be having heart attacks and probably, vomiting everywhere. I know some people were talking about the whole thing with Afterthought. We got lucky that we beat them in the overtime. Rapid is a smart guy when it comes to ones play, when it comes to mechanical playing. And that's really, in my opinion, that's what Afterthought is.
Yeah.
They're just mechanical players. You got Sathu, who's a great mechanical player. Dapper, who is your generic ones player. He doesn't even do anything fancy. He follows the rules how to play Rocket League in ones. And he fit it perfectly into threes, but it's not always perfect. I feel like Shock and Sathu are the two. They're going to be deadly. And if we can figure out how to play one's play style and really start to throw them off, which is what they did. They noticed that Afterthought started sitting back a lot more. So Rapid's all right, time to play like ones. Aeon, hang on in the back. What's it called? Seabass, go do something crazy. If you don't do it, I'll pick up the ball and go do a ones play, and we're going to score. Bada bing, bada boom. We win overtime because of the players were caught off guard because we continuously played that style. So I honestly think we can do it. If we don't make it, and I will say that I think if we don't make it, I think Afterthought beats Chaos Esports.
So you think it goes? So your analytical answer is you think it'll be Charlotte and Afterthought.
My analytical answer is Charlotte and RBG. But if RBG messes up, it will be Charlotte and Afterthought. I do not think Chaos Esports will make it. But if they go against Cloud9 and Gimmick keeps playing the way Gimmick does, Chaos Esports will beat Cloud9 in the promotion.
Yeah.
Because they do play bumpy. They play a little crazy.
Yeah.
And Cloud9, if they play like they did during the season, they're not going to handle it at all.
Yeah, no. And, I mean, I was just looking at this, and this is... I think that if we were going to pick the top 4 for Rival Series, I think if you switched out any of these teams with FMG even, it still is just... That's how closely contested Rival Series was this season. And looking at the results, I went back and looked at the results just now, and aside from the 3-0 that Charlotte Phoenix got on Afterthought, which was still a close game, mind you, they only won by 1 point in the games that they won pretty much, aside from the first game. Every single one of these series between these teams was a 3-2 series. And you can just as easily make the case of how this could go any other direction. Now, based on what I have seen from the casting booth, I am going to have... the only team on this I didn't get to look and commentate for is Charlotte Phoenix. So the only team I didn't get to commentate for, unfortunately. But I'm going to say that it's Afterthought and RBG based on what I've seen. Because I think Charlotte Phoenix, they've got the skill, they've got the power. I think that if Charlotte Phoenix take Afterthought, then I think Afterthought struggles with the loss against you guys, is what I believe happens. But I could see whoever wins that first game, that one's not as important to me. It's the losers bracket game that I'm more interested in, to be honest, just because that's where you see the contest between all these teams. Because Afterthought and Chaos and Charlotte Phoenix, we've already seen that. That's the only one that's not a 3-2. And so it's really interesting to see. But if I have to pick, Afterthought just looks good. You have Dapper, who is the number 1 leading in assists per game for the whole Rival Series. Like, he's just killing it on the supporting role. And, like, I'm not gonna lie, I always felt that was a role that he would excel in, and he's been awesome in that role. And then you guys, when I watch you guys and you get your groove on and stuff, you guys look really good. But I will agree with you on the fact of, like, when you see Aeon get demotivated, the whole team kind of falls apart a little bit. I'm counting on Aeon being so hyped for the opportunity to make his RLCS that he's just going to carry through it without that issue. So I think Afterthought and RBG.
All right. See, here's my my only thing about that. There's 2 factors that are going to be playing in this. One, these are all best of 7s.
Yeah, which none of you guys have had to deal with yet.
No, nobody has. And 2, it's going to really come down to whether or not these players, the loser semifinals, RBG and Chaos, whoever wins that, you'll be going into your next game pretty much warmed up more than the loser of the winners finals. Yeah.
Well, and you also, if you're coming, y'all's match is... wait, no. So it goes y'all's match, the Charlotte Phoenix Afterthought match, then the losers final match.
See, now that's where things are going to get interesting. Okay, so that flips my... same idea, flips what I was saying. So whoever wins the losers semifinals match is going to be cold.
Yeah.
Going in.
But they're coming off a win.
Right.
They'll be coming off a win, but that's the thing. They'll be cold coming off a win, while the winners finals is warm coming off a loss. So it's just like
they're trying to kind of counteract it. I kind of understand from the tournament side why they did it that way, but it's also it kind of sucks a little bit.
It's all over the place. At this point, I don't know how to follow it. It just, I don't know. There's a lot that's going to go into it. It just really comes down to is whether or not the players can keep their mental capacity together. And it doesn't matter whose team. It doesn't even matter if it's my team. It just matters if all the teams. It really just comes down to your professionalism and whether or not the players can keep a calm mind through anything.
And so with that, that concludes our predictions for North America. We are now going to hop over to Europe for theirs real quick. So the teams that are competing are Discombobulators, AS Monaco Esports, Method, and Team Singularity. So AS Monaco, that's the team that has Tigray and iIgnite on it, along with Extra. And I think I'm gonna lead us off on the predictions. I think it's going to be Discombobulators and Team Singularity. Because Team Singularity took a 3-1 win over AS Monaco.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually really like Monaco in this tournament, though. I just think with the momentum that they've built in the second half of the season, I think Monaco can come up and make a push. I don't really know. Again, I'll be the first to say I have not watched a ton of EU RLRS this season, nor did I get a chance to catch any of their tournaments and stuff before. So I'll admit that my knowledge to that area is limited. However, I do generally like the idea of Monaco going through.
Yeah. Actually, I could be wrong on this. The two losses that Discombobulators have are AS Monaco and Team Singularity. So I'm going to change my answer. I think it's going to be AS Monaco and Team Singularity.
For me, I didn't really watch too much of the EU rival series, but so I'm not going to answer this in an analytical way. I'm going to answer this more in a fan way.
Go for it. Any answer is appropriate.
Yeah, I want Monaco and Method to actually make it.
Ooh, Method. Yeah, I like that team.
So, the reason why I think Monaco is just a great team because like the only times I do watch the rival series for Europe is when Monaco plays because I think Tigray and iIgnite they just had a bad season last season and falling into RLRS is tough. You know, how do you go from like this awesome TSM roster to just slipping all the way down through a whole season? Just like, I mean, honestly, AS Monaco is like Charlotte Phoenix, North America.
Yeah.
Like Tigray and iIgnite are going through the same story as Jay Wismont and Karma is going through. So I think it's very ironic. The only other reason why I would be a fan of Method going in is because
that's Tadpole, Rix Ronde, and Burrito B.
And Burrito B. And it's because we have our manager.
Yeah, Dion.
Yeah, Dion is an old... he used to manage that roster, or most of the roster. And he's cheering on for them. He's their friends. And, if he's cheering on for them, I'll cheer on with him. Because now that he's part of the RBG family, I support what my family likes, and I've always admired Method as a company, the fact that they've
been around for a long time with Rocket League.
I mean, yeah, they were in RLCS until Complexity bought the old roster, and instead of just falling out, they stayed in and picked up an RLRS team.
I would argue that they have a better roster than Complexity does now.
Well, mind you, the time Complexity bought the roster was when when Team Method came second or third in Worlds.
Yeah,
that was when it was.
But I would say that it goes to show a little bit more of the team development side. That makes me feel as if Method is much more invested in the scene than Complexity is.
Oh, easily. I mean, Complexity is most of their focus is called Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Like easily. Jason Lake is like the biggest Counter-Strike fan.
He's heavy into Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and
I saw his tweet after they like got demolished that one tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna build a super team.
Yeah.
yeah,
You want to build
and
a
now
super
there's
team? Come here. Yeah,
They're
sure,
the
man.
juggernaut. Yeah, see you in
You want to build a
2020.
juggernaut of a team? The
Yeah.
best facilities in the world.
Can't wait to see. how that team
We're
goes,
making
but-
fun of him, but I mean, I understand. I
love
understand
Jason
where
Lake.
he's coming from.
Yeah, I love Jason Lake, so I'm a huge fan of him. I got to meet him in person.
I mean, he's like
and-
right in Dallas, so it's like I could meet him.
Yeah, right. I mean, Swan and I got to meet him at DreamHack Austin 2018, so it was really cool. But either way, you're right. I mean, this also comes down to like when these teams are put together, you have to. It's actually something we could probably have a topic about another day. Is how much of the organizations. I know, like a lot of people do talk about it, and it's like how much of the organizations put into their rosters.
Yeah.
But I know one question a lot of people ask is how much do organizations affect the roster, picking their teams? No one ever asks how much of the organizations affect the roster currently and what gets them going and stuff like that. With our roster, I'm constantly texting Rapid and the prank that happened while you were with me, Ryan, like that shows you our bond with our roster.
I'm still waiting for you to post the video.
Oh, trust me. I am delaying it as much as possible, and Swan is pushing it as much as possible. I mean, I got a demo.
I'm with Swan. Don't delay it.
Listen, man, you're not part of the grudge. You just were helping me out.
I had a hand in it, though.
Yeah,
I had a hand in it. You and me were on that trip together. Damn it.
But you,
I
Swan,
don't know what we're talking about.
Apparently, there's a video that's going to be coming out on YouTube. But
Basically, I played Rocket League as Randomize's teammate for this video.
Yeah, and we got tricked, and we thought Swan's teammate was some diamond scrub.
Jakester there in chat.
Yeah, it turns out it was actually Rapid on a Smurf. And apparently,
hearing the team audio between me and Randomize is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, in game number 3, there was a point where I started raging, and you just hear Ryan going like, "Stay with me, man! I can't do this without you!" And apparently Swan lost it because you just hear me go, "No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm not mad." And I was like, "What the?" I tried to play it off, but I was just so angry.
Dude, I was like laughing so hard during that whole thing. So y'all need to hurry up and post it.
Oh, trust me.
Jakester, I see you there in chat. Please, hurry for me.
YouTube.com/RBG Esports. You might as well go there and
We'll be linking to you guys later.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, for anyone that's like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
That's where we'll be. Trust
Perino,
me, shout out for you, man.
Yes.
what is your prediction here?
So, blessed Liquipedia, I did a little bit of homework while you guys were talking about your little prank there.
See, this guy had time to prep.
Yeah, I was doing my homework over here.
I did that
I'm
too for
looking
North
at-
America, so.
I'm looking at it. I'm actually going to go. I think AS Monaco wins that top seed, so I think they'll auto qualify. They'll take that series against the Discombobulators, and then who for the second qualifier? I think Singularity will beat Method, and then between the Discombobulators and Singularity, I think it'll be the Discombobulators going through on the losers bracket. So my picks are very boring. I picked the 1 and 2 seeds in both regions. Sorry.
Hey, I mean, there's a lot of credence to be given to the top 2 teams of each region. I mean, I think that they've rightfully earned those, and I think that they have probably the best chance. But just based on how Rocket League is, that's why I didn't really pick the top 1-2 for both my picks. But I totally understand why you're coming from that perspective on it.
Yeah, I just, my brief crash course in EU LRS, that's my take. Is go figure.
All right. Do you guys have anything else y'all want to add before we roll into our closeout?
Just
You're like sad that it's over.
no.
I thought we were eating up too much of your time, maybe.
No, it was you gave me flashbacks of the freaking episode, and I've been thinking it's in my head. I'm like remembering everything, and then I just thought about like I click over to Wikipedia and I see that bracket. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, the longer we go, the more effort I got to put into post production. So come on.
Let's keep it going. Hang on, let's keep it going. Gotta put Perino in some stress over here. I'm just kidding. No, honestly, last thoughts. Like, I can't wait for the playoffs. The fact that our organization, alongside with the other 7 organizations in the RLRS playoffs, get to live the history of being the first ever RLRS teams to play in a RLRS playoffs.
Yeah.
This is the first time they were doing it, and we get the chance to do it. No one else can ever say that they auto-qualified, unless they're doing it again next season.
Yeah, unless they decide to do it again next season. But,
yeah, but either
I wonder
way,
if they would.
I don't think so, but either way, we still get to say we played in the first ever RLRS playoffs. Ryan, you got to be a part of the first time ever a non-RLCS or the non-Rocket League Twitch channel hosting an RLRS, game.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of firsts that happened this season.
Actually, I think Rival Series did it last season too. I could be wrong. I think they did it last season.
But they didn't do it with you. That's the big difference.
Yeah.
That's right. They did do it. No.
Rival Esports, I think, did a B stream last season.
They did. Yeah. They did. It was I meshed the 2 seasons together because that's when we had Astro on our team.
Yeah.
And all that. But yeah, even before then they tried using the twitch.tv/RL Esports.
Yeah.
And it never worked.
Yeah. That was smooth. But anything else y'all want to add? Perino, you good?
Yeah, just
closing
that,
thoughts.
I was a little upset I couldn't watch this weekend and that we couldn't put an episode out last week. I just had to be away for something. So
I mean, same. It was a rough week.
I do apologize for that. I might be away. I got to check what my flight is for next week too, because I might not be able to do next week on Wednesday either. So we may have to do something where we might do the podcast a day early on next week, because I know with Thanksgiving here in the U.S., there's going to be a lot of craziness. We'll work on it. But again, I'm
I saw that randomized. Bless you.
Might have muted himself, I think, before he hit the can.
Unlike someone over here that's tilting himself out of the can.
I don't have a nice deck thingy, Mabob.
I'm using my mouse, man.
Perino,
go ahead. Perino, go ahead.
I'm just saying that it's good to be back, and I'm glad that we can do another good episode, and I look forward to doing many more. 30 down and many more to go.
Yes, sir. But guys, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give us a follow, all that stuff, like I said at the start of the episode. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been our pleasure to have you with us. And the episode will be getting posted later on YouTube and podcast services by the lovely Perino over there. But guys, where can people follow y'all? Perino, we'll start with you, and then Randomize, you plug whatever crap you've got, because I know you have a million things.
Yes, so the easiest way to find me is at this Twitter handle right here, at Perino TV. You can also find me on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/Perino. Again, I couldn't be very active this week because I had to be away, but we're working on that. But those are the 2 places you can find me.
If you want to contact me personally, my Twitter handles would be a perfect place, at RBG_randomize. If you want to talk to me while I'm streaming, twitch.tv/randomize, 2 I's and a 3 instead of an E. So that's your way to reach out to me if you want to reach out to me. If you want to make sure you want to check out RBG, check out the merch. There we go. Finally plugged it in.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was coming. I was waiting this whole podcast. I was like, he's gonna dish it in here at some point.
I made sure to wait till the plugs. I respect the podcast.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Go to
beg to differ.
Wow, I respected it. I mute myself when I sneeze. I mute myself when I
All right,
fall.
we don't call each other out on this show.
But rbgesports.com/shop if you want some cool merch. Otherwise, Twitter, Twitch, twitch.tv, twitter.com/RBG_esports. Those are our best plays. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel where we'll be featuring Ryan in a video. He's over here. We'll be featuring Ryan in a video very soon on youtube.com/RBG esports. I don't think there is an underscore for that one. No, there is no underscore for that one. So go ahead, get over there, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when Ryan will be in that video. It's going to be funny. I'm going to hate it.
I am looking forward to that video.
Shush. But either way, guys, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. I love doing I call episode 60 because I love coming on here. I love.
We just need to bring you on every 10 episodes, just the randomize. The randomize episode is every 10 episodes.
I'm in. I'm gonna put it down on my calendar now, and I'm gonna
make 10 weeks from now.
10 weeks from now, I will be free, and if I don't get a call from either of you, I will just
my lawyer will be in touch.
No, forget the lawyer. I'm hacking into your Discord, and I'm gonna pop up in Perino's camera.
It's not good that we gave you staff roles.
Oh no!
But guys, we thank you very much for watching us. Appreciate having you guys. You can follow me over at PWR_Ryan. You can also follow us at PWR_Leagues. And then just one more reminder about the takeoff qualifier. The fourth and final qualifier is this Monday. If you want to get on it, you got to go sign up and get your team together. Get ready to go on that. But without further ado, we're going to close this thing out. We're going to go ahead and host our lovely friends over at RBG Esports for their gauntlet going on right now. So stick around if you want to go watch some high-level Rocket League. But guys, I'm Ryan, that's Perino, and that is Randomize. It has been our pleasure to serve you. Take care and have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.